Obviously, we had a gap down in here on the day. We ended the day down buck 38 from yesterday's trading session, ended at 34.35. You had those that BABA earnings that came in pre-market this morning, obviously did not really meet expectations. And then obviously a pullback in the whole Chinese, basically every stock you can think of that had to do with China today pulled back in here overall. So on the daily, we had a high in here of 34.97, low of 33.95, end of the day 34.35. Where does that currently put us? Technically speaking, well, we have to kind of breach through this 34.91 first before we get to this 9-day EMA. The 9-day, I'm sorry, that 34.60 area, 34.50 area before we get to the 9-day EMA, which is 34.91. Shouldn't have any trouble breaking through that 9-day EMA once we get above those mid 34s. But anything above that, we're looking at this 200 SMA or the $36 level, whichever one does come first. Obviously, the more consolidating we do, the more this 200 SMA will come down towards us. Obviously, if we rip higher, then the 200 SMA will kind of go with it. So whichever one does come first, that is the whole area right in here that we're going to watch. Above that, it is going to be up here by that $37, $38 area where your upper trend line is here on the daily. We're going to see if we respect that. Obviously, if we do go up and respect it, the next support for us after we bounce off of this would be this 36 area that we were just talking about. Now, support wise, since we are below that mid 34 area, we're currently trading about 34, 35 or so here in aftermarket. The next support is going to be 33.80, below that 33.19, and then we're going to be looking at this 32.50 area down here. So those are going to be your next supports up on the block that we're looking at. You can see that we had a lot of action in here over the past few months of just kind of hitting all of those points. So again, gaps to fill that we have to worry about because we just mentioned we had a gap down in here. The gap that we need to fill is going to be that 35.81 area. And this is actually an area that we gapped up to, right? So it's close enough to it that we can kind of basically kill two gaps with one stone. And basically, if we can kind of get up there and fill that gap. We also have gaps down here we have to worry about support-wise, though, too, 32.94. And then the same thing back here. You can see that we gap down to right around that same area here back in late April. So those are what we're looking for on the daily. We've kind of zoom out to the weekly chart. You can see kind of where everything was and where our volatility was in here for the past 2 months or so. You can see basically a really, really tight channel we're trading in. 43 to right around 32. So you have right around $11 channel here ever since October of 24 that we've been trading in. So something's got to give here. Too much capitulation in here. We need a breakout in here soon either way. I'm scared if we break out to the downside here, 28s could be on the table, but it looks like we're kind of holding up so far in here. So nothing really to worry about. Now, if we go to the 30-minute chart, you can see what happened in here on the day. Obviously, big pullback in here for that gap down on the day, and then kind of just trading right in below that 9-day EMA until about 1:30 or so, 2 o'clock. We finally breached it, obviously, because it came down to us, right? We didn't kind of go up and overtake that 9-day EMA. We had to do consolidating out here for it to kind of creep lower and lower to us, but we did breach it on the day, and now we're just kind of holding it here as we go into aftermarket. So all in all, what are we looking at in here for the next trading session that's coming up tomorrow? Well, we're expecting right around $1 move in here for JD. So that kind of puts all our levels that we just mentioned up on the table or close to it. The next week, you're pricing in right around a $2 expected move. January, or I'm sorry, you go out to June, right around a $3.23 expected move. So low IV in here, but still $1 move. So really kind of these gaps are kind of all on the table. But we're kind of wait and see what happens tomorrow, what kind of news comes out. Is there going to be a nice recovery in BABA, in JD, in PDD, all those types of Chinese stocks? Are we going to get a nice recovery, or are we just kind of sit down here and consolidate? It's also going to have to do with what the overall market does as well, because the spiders are up right around 590. So we kind of have to keep that in the back of our head too. That's hitting a major resistance point. So again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But again, low IV dollar expected move by tomorrow's trading session. We'll see what happens here in JD. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.